So in this class, we are going to start with operators. We have arithmetic operators, relational operators, bitwise operators, logical operators, assignment operators, and MISC operators. Okay, we are going to see one by one, and few of them which are not at all important, which may skip, but most of them will be covering in this class today. Let's talk about arithmetic operators, and for a few minutes we'll be doing the theory, and then we'll be doing some practical, okay, later. And these are the arithmetic operators: plus, minus, into, divide, and this is called modulus, okay, and increment operator. And plus we can call in Java as a increment operator, and minus we can call in Java as a decrement operator. Okay, remember these are two different things, and which we need to remember. Okay, and let's say A is 10 and B is 20. The value of the variable value of A is 10 and the variable value of B is 20. In that case, A plus B becomes 30 and A minus B becomes minus 10 and A into B becomes 200 and B by A becomes 2. Okay, this is straightforward something. And B percentage A, we can call it as B modulus A, will become 0. So this is very important operator which we have to remember. Whenever we do some programs, we'll be have to work with this. For example, let's take a notepad. Okay, so B divided by A, okay, so is nothing but 20 divided by 10. Okay, and what is the answer, right? So in that case you have to do like this. And what is the value by multiplying so that we can reach to 20? So with what value, if I can multiply 10, I can reach to the 20. Okay, let's say if I take the 2, I can reach to the 20, and 20 minus 20, it's 0. So this particular 2 is called quotient, which is not important for us, and 0 is called remainder. Okay, so that's a 0 you see here. Okay, so we need the 0. Now let's take another example: 40 percentage 3. Okay, let's take this example. So you have to do 3 as this side and 40 as like this. And with what value, if I can multiply 3 so that I can near to the 40, I can near or exactly I'll be reaching to the 40. So for example, so if I can take 13, right, 13, so 13 into 3, it's 39, and the quotient will be, sorry, and the remainder will be 1. Okay, so this, so if it is less than, if the remainder is less than 3, we can't do anything. If it is greater than 3, again we can multiply it. Okay, so you need to understand this kind of arithmetic operation. Okay, we might have studied already in the school level, but anyway in Java this is how it works. And the remainder is 1, so finally the answer for this one is 1. Okay, so this is very important. When you are dealing with some programs, definitely they will be asking you, you will be using this operator. Okay, so this is what arithmetic operators. And coming to relational operators, okay, so remember arithmetic, by applying arithmetic operators, you'll be getting some number, right? You'll be getting some number. Okay, so for example, int c equal to a plus b. Okay, what is the a value? Int a equal to 10 and int b equal to 20. Okay, so now if we can print c value, if you print c value, the answer will be 30, right? The answer will be 30. So this so these are called, one more thing you need to remember, so these are called operands. Okay, so left to the operator and right to the operator, we can call it as operands. So that means A and B are operands. A and B are operands. A and B are operands, and plus we can call it as this operator. Okay, not only plus, you keep any operator, it be an operator. And coming to the relational operators, so equal to, this we can call it as equal to. Okay, even though there are two equals, we can simply call it as equal to. Okay, and this is not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. These are the few different operators of relational operators. Okay, let's work with this. So again, A is 10 and B is 20. So A equal to B. So 10 equal to B. No way, it's not true. Okay. So not true, we can say it as false. Okay. There is no not true in Java. There are only two values. There are only two Boolean values. One is either false, either true. Okay. A not equal to B, 10 not equal to 20. Yes, that's true. And 10 greater than 20, that's false. So that means it's not true. And 10 less than 20, it's true. 10 greater than or equal to B. So that means 10 greater than or equal to 20. So it's not true. So when I say greater than or equal to, okay, when I say greater than or equal to, so here two operators are involved. When I say 10 greater than or equal to 20, correct? So here A is 10 and B is 20. If you use this A value and B value, it looks like this one. Okay, so A greater than equal to B is looks like 10 greater than equal to 20. So you have to, here there are two operators involved. One is 10 greater than 20 and 10 equal to 20. This we can call it as simply equal. Okay, now let's see, 10 greater than 20, no, it's false. 10 equal to 20, no, it's false. If both are false, the value of this expression, okay, so this is operand and this is operand and this is called operator, and together combining all these things we can call it as expression. Remember, so in my next classes onwards I'll be using expressions and all, so you need to understand what is an expression. Okay, now come to this point. If both are false, the answer will be, the result will be false. If any one of them is true, here I'm applying two operators combiningly, that is greater than and equal to. Together we can call it as greater than or equal. And so when uh, when you explore it and when you expand it, it will be looks like this: 10 greater than 20 and 10 equal to 20. So if any one of them is true, the answer will be true. If both are false, the answer is false. If both are true, the answer is true. You need to remember this one. Okay, now let's type on the chart box 10 greater than or equal to 20. What is the answer? Let's type on the chat box, everybody. What is the answer? To privately to me. I am still yet to receive your messages. Please type. Not received from you, Prasenjit. Okay, fine. 10 less than or equal to 20. So this we have to say like this: 10 less than 20 and 10 equal to 20. So this anyway become false. 10 equal to 20, that's not true, it's false. 10 less than 20, yes, it is true. So if one of them becomes true or two of them becomes true, the answer is true. Yes, Haruna, you are right. So that's how we have to use the operators. So bitwise operators I'll be dealing later, which is not at all important. And coming to logical operators. For logical operators, you need to understand the table. You need to understand the table. Okay, so let's take there are three operators. One is AND, another one is OR. This is called AND, this is called OR, and this is called NOT. Okay, let's take an example. Uh, so here A is true and A holds true, B holds false. That means A is true, B is false. So let's take false, true and false. A holds true, right? Take the previous one only. So A is true and B is false. So A and B. Okay, that means true and false. Okay, what is the answer? Okay, so to know this answer, we have to understand the tables which a logical and have. Okay, let's take say true, true. The answer is true. Okay, A, B, result. Okay, let's take this one. True, true. The answer is true. So when it comes to the and, true, false, and the answer is false. False, false. Okay. So now false, false, false. Now tell me. Now put me a message. A is true and B is false. A and B. That means true and false. True and false. What happens? It's a false. The result is false. True and false becomes false. Okay, so I got this value from this table. True and false becomes false. So in this table you need to remember, when both are true, when it comes to the end, when both are true, then only the result will be true. Otherwise it is always false. True or false or false or true or false or false will be false only. Okay, so in the particular to the end operator, when both are true, then only the result is true. Otherwise, true and false, false and true, false and false are always false. Okay, perfect. Thank you. take the same table again and apply it for R. Okay, now I'm using R. Okay, in case of R, if any one of them is true, in A and B, if any one of them is true, the answer is true. Okay, so true is true. Yeah, any one of them I said. Here both are true, so answer will be true. So here true or false will becomes true. False or true also becomes true. False and false only becomes false. Okay, if any one of them is true, the answer is true. Otherwise, other things are false. So now let's assume. So A or B is what? Is nothing but true, true or false is nothing but true, right? If you see this table, true or false becomes true. Okay, any one of them becomes true, the answer is true. When it comes to the another operator is called not. The another operator is not. Okay, so it just makes ulta. If I apply, if I apply A, so is nothing but not true, is nothing but the answer will be false. Okay, it makes ulta, it makes reverse. If true, if you apply not for true, it becomes false. If you apply not for false, it becomes true. Okay, okay, fine. Now tell me this one. Tell me this one. A is true and B is false, and what is the answer for this? And what is the
It's
answer for
true.
this?
First one is true.
First one is true because it becomes false, and it is the expression becomes false,
The
and you are
second one
applying
is
not
true.
true, and this becomes true, and it becomes
False.
false. Excellent. Now let me tell. Yeah. Now you can tell me.
The
Now tell me what is the result.
false.
Okay, so let's evaluate. The answer is false. Prosenjit is telling. Let's evaluate it. A and B become false, right? And A and become false. You have to evaluate the expressions. So this is one expression, and this is another expression. Let's evaluate these expressions first. A and B becomes false, and A or B becomes true. False or true becomes true. And let me write this one like this. It becomes not. Okay, it will be like this. And let me move forward. Not. So false or true becomes true. And let me move forward, and finally it becomes false. Yes, Prosenjit, you are right. And I got some answers here also. Yes, that's okay. I'm not sure for what answer is that. Okay, it's for the finally this expression becomes, the entire expression becomes false. If any questions, please let me know. I made it very simple. If any questions, please let me know. And that's about relational operators. Sorry, that's about logical operators. Till now we have seen arithmetic operators and relational operators and logical operators, and let's talk about assignment operator. Okay, in A is 20. Okay, so I assigned 20 to the A value. If I print A, what happens? It becomes, it gives a result as, it gives output as 20. Okay, so this single equal we call it as assignment operator. If you mention double equal, that is call it as comparison operator or equal operator. But if you make single equal, that is call it as assignment operators. So that's about assignment operator. And few more operators which are important. So that is increment. Where do we saw increment and decrement operator? Does anybody remember where do we saw this increment and decrement operators? We saw these increment and decrement operators in arithmetic operators. What are the increment operator? This is the increment operator. And what is the decrement operator? This is the decrement operator. So in increment and decrement, there are two flavors are there, or two kinds are there. One is post increment and pre increment, and in the decrement, post decrement and pre decrement. Okay, post and pre. Okay, so let's see these examples in the practical way only. I already have some examples here. Let me show you that. Okay, so let me explain this class first. So this class name is operator example. Okay, so here I have a class and I created a main method, and I also have different other methods, public void other methods, and in the each method I'm explaining about some things. Okay, in the arithmetic method, example arithmetic method, I have created these statements. In ex logical method, I have created examples related to logical operators. And in the ex increment or and decrement, ex inc and dec, in this method I have explained about increment and decrement operators. And in the example relational, I have explained about the relational operators. Okay, and these methods I am calling on the main method. Okay, these method, by creating an object for the operator example and using that object name or reference variable name, I'm calling each and every method and I'm getting the output. Okay, so let's work on each and everything one by one, and we'll see the output. Okay, so first I'm calling the ex arithmetic, so that this particular method will be called. Okay, and let's see the answers are already here. Let me remove these things. Okay, now tell me the answers. A plus b becomes 20 and 10. A plus b becomes 30. Okay, let's see. These are very simple. Let's directly run it. So when you're exploring about this example, you have to also do like this. Okay, so a plus b becomes 30, a minus b becomes 10, and 200 and 2, and this is 0, right? That's perfect. Let's run this logical operators. So it's a false, true, false. Yes, I request you people can be in mute. If you have any questions, you can raise. To be in mute, you just need to click on this mute button. Okay, if you go here, you just need to click on mute button so that you will not be getting the voice in our class. So A and B becomes false, right? And A or B, true or false becomes true. That's right. And not A, that is true, not will becomes false. Is that the answer I got? False, true, false. That's perfect. Okay, so So this is something important, increment and decrement, which is very important. If you do not focus, you will not understand anything here. This is little bit tricky as well as very interesting and very important. So A is 10. Okay. So when I say in the increment operators, there are two flavors. One is post increment and pre increment. Okay. So if you define plus plus before the variable, okay, that is plus plus A. So that is called pre increment. If you declare plus plus after the variable name, that is post increment. Okay, so I'm using plus plus, that's the reason I'm saying increment. If I say minus minus a2, this is pre decrement, and a3 minus minus, this is called post decrement, because the operator are used after the variable name, then it is called post decrement. Okay, so you need to understand it very carefully. Okay, let's, before understanding all this stuff, let's give me one simple example. Int a equal to a plus 1. Okay, so before that, okay, int a equal to 10 and a equal to a plus 1. Okay, so remember, always the right side expression will be evaluated and that will be assigned to the left side. Okay, so what is the a here? It is 10. 10 plus 1 becomes 11, and 11 will be again assigned to the a. If I print a, if I print a, the answer is 11. Okay, so this a equal to a plus 1, simply we can call it as plus plus a or a plus plus anything. Okay, so this plus plus a or a plus plus will increment a by 1, a by 1, not by 2 or 3 or something else. It just increment a by 1. Okay, now let's take another example. Int b equal to 10 and b equal to b minus 1. Okay, if I print ln and I say b, okay, what was the answer? Here b minus 1, 10 minus 1, 9. 9 will be assigned to the b, and when I print b, the answer is 9. Okay, so b equal to b minus 1, we can simply say this one, or b minus minus, anything is okay. Okay, this one also plus plus here, or a minus minus, any, sorry, a plus plus, anything is okay. Okay, so this increment or decrement operators, either increment by 1 if it is an increment operator, and if it is a decrement operator, it decrement by 1. Okay, so it's very important, carefully understand. Any questions, please let me know. Okay, now let's take this example. So when I say increment or decrement, increments by 1 or minus 1, why do we require post increment and pre increment? Okay, so plus plus a or no a plus plus, why do we require all these things? Okay, it has a very minute difference. By defining plus plus a or a plus plus, by defining like this, there are very minute difference. This difference we need to understand very carefully. A equal to 10 now. Okay, and b equal to a plus 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 a, b equal to plus plus a, this is called pre increment. Okay, now what happens? A will be incremented to 1, that is a becomes 11, and will be assigned to b. Okay, now both b and a are having the value 11. This is fine. Now it is very important, very carefully listen. Int a1 equal to 10 and b1 equal to a1 plus plus. Okay, in this case, when I say post increment, in this case the value of a1 is right now it is 10. Okay, so this 10 will be assigned to the b1, this 10 will be assigned to the b1. Okay, After assignment, the increment starts. After the assignment, A1 will be incremented to 11. Okay. After the assignment, A1 will be incremented. Here, before assignment only, A will be incremented to 11 and that will be assigned to the B. So in the post increment, first assignment operator, okay, the value of A1 is 10 and that will be assigned to the B1. After the assignment, A1 will be incremented. Now A1 becomes 11. Okay, now you can see if I print A1 and B1, A1 will be 11 and B1 will be 10. Okay, let's let's do this one. Let's talk about, let's run this one, this piece of code. Okay, so in this case, in the first case, a equal to 11 and B equal to 11. In the second case, A1 equal to 11 and B1 equal to 10. The reason is, so here the value of A1 is 10 and that will be assigned to the B1 and B1 also will be having the 10. After the assignment, the value incremented by 1. The A value will be incremented by 1. That's the reason A1 is having 11. Okay, so this is very important. Let's talk about, okay, let's comment this one and let's focus on decrement operator. So here minus minus a2, a2 is 10. Okay, so when I say pre decrement, first the decrement happens, a2 becomes 9 and that 9 becomes, so 9 will be assigned to the b2 and overall b2 and a2 will be having, b2 and a2 will be having 9. Okay, so here a3 is 10 and a3 minus minus I am assigning to b3. It's nothing but first the assignment happens. First the assignment happens in the post, in the post operator. First assignment happens, so a3 value is 10, that will be assigned to b3. Now b3 will be having 10 and after the assignment a3 will be decremented by 1, that becomes 9. Now if I print a3 and b3, a3 will be 9 and b3 will be 10. Okay, so first assignment operator will come into picture. First assignment happens, so a3 value is 10, that will be assigned to the b3. Now you can see here a2 and b2 will be same. Okay, in the pre-increment, in the pre-increment or pre-increment, both the values will be always same. Okay, when it comes to the post decrement, so you can see b3 is 10 because, so first the assignment happens, that means a3 value is 10, that will be assigned to b3. Now a3, now b3 is 10. Okay, first assignment operator happens, b3 will be containing 10 only and after the assignment a3 will be decremented by 1, that means 9. Okay, so that's about increment and decrement. There are two flavors, pre-increment or post increment, as well as post decrement and pre-decrement. Now let's talk about this one. So this method is done. Let's come to the relational. So a equal to 20, b equal to 10. The evaluation of relational operator expression is always Boolean value. Remember, when I apply a relational operator between two operands, the expression gives a Boolean value, either true or false. You need to note down or you need to remember. So 20 greater than, let's run this one and see what is the values. Let's comment this one. Let's enable this one. True, false. Let's go to the, okay, first one is true, that means 20 greater than 10, that is true, and 20 less than 10, that is false. Okay, and 20 greater than or equal to 10, that is true. 20 less than or equal to b, that is false, and a equal to b, so 20 equal to 10, that is false. Yes. Okay, now take the assignment. So create a demo, create a operator demo class, and okay, in the main method, you can write the code, and the assignment is that int a equal to 10 and b equal to 20. Okay, so in this case, so what is the value of a and b? And a or b, and a and b, okay, this is fine. What is the value of this expression, and what is the value of, you can take another two variables, int c comma int c equal to 40 comma int b equal to 6, b, it's a d, and what is the c percentage d value. Okay, so let's complete this assignment and share now itself.